Welcome back. Am I audible to everyone at the back as well? Okay. So now we begin with the real business. So in the welcome kit that has been given to you, you may find the PGP handbook. Please take out the PGP handbook. While you are at it, let me tell you something interesting. 2013, there was an article in the HPR which spoke about 6 things that contribute to the culture of an organization. Now, when we talk of TAPMI, be it the faculty staff, be it the professional staff, be it the students, be it our former students, we take great pride in what TAPMI is, what TAPMI stands for, right? So this article, of course, which is collective wisdom of so many people, so many thinkers, says of the 6 things, the first thing is the vision, mission statement of an enterprise. If you have a very clear, simple, crisp vision statement, half your job is done, because every time, every activity of an enterprise, can be routed back to the vision. If there is any confusion at any point of time, the employees, the key stakeholders, you could go back to the vision statement and confirm, hey, are we doing the right thing? Is this what the vision statement of the enterprise is? Is this the thing which will contribute to the vision of the enterprise? Professor Simon, Dean Academics at TAPMI, one of the oldest faculty members here, who has been with us for a long time, every faculty meeting, every student meeting, whenever we propose anything to him, the first question he asks, is this contributing to the mission of TAPMI? So in the same tradition as Professor Simon here, I want to draw the attention to the vision statement of TAPMI. Page 1, you will find to excel in postgraduate management, education, research and practice. Now, we mean every word of it. This vision statement of TAPMI is embedded in every activity. Now, one of the activities that you may encounter or predominantly encounter over the next 18 to 20 months of your stay over here is through curriculum. How the program is structured, what is the goal behind structuring those courses, what do we exactly intend to achieve at the end of those courses, have been beautifully codified. You find below those vision statement 5 bullet points. In fact, those are our program goals, program level goals, what we call as PLGs. The first goal, of course, is to ensure that you have mastery in the fundamentals. The next 2 goals talk about how you deal with the internal aspects of an enterprise. That is, you view the enterprise as a whole, you see the connect between various functional aspects of an enterprise. The third talks about how you as an enterprise, how we see the outside world, so the strategy associated with it. So all courses that you find at TAPMI over the 2 terms would have some or the other elements which would contribute towards these program goals. The 4th and the 5th are slightly higher order ideals. The 4th is about ethics. So principles of ethics and corporate governance in variety of things that we do. So you will have courses, workshops on ethics, and in every course, in the way we conduct ourselves, you would be expected to conduct in an ethical manner, and what constitutes ethical policy is also subsequently be discussed as part of the handbook. And last, demonstration of capacity to take leadership in business decisions. We have certain courses in TAPMI which will nurture those leadership traits that you have in you. The curriculum and the way we deliver the curriculum, that's the classroom pedagogy. Now, traditionally, the lecture method of teaching has been the most important way of delivering the content from teacher to student. But in B schools, in reputed B schools, in top institutions around the world, not just in India, you will find that these classroom lectures are supplemented with a lot of other methods of imparting education. Case method of learning is one such pedagogical tool that we employ to a great extent here. In fact, a rough estimate would be about 700 cases are discussed over 2 years. As you go through a lot of courses, you would have discussed, by the time you graduate, you would have discussed about 700 cases. Now, I would like to bring to your attention, this word case may have multiple connotation. probably the place where you come from in a corporate setup, whenever you hear the word case study, what it generally alludes to is probably giving examples of how things are done. So a case study for a wealth management boutique advisory would be that here are my marquee clients, and these are the clients to whom we as a company have helped them invest, and see what they have achieved. You saw the names of your illustrious seniors today when Professor Madhu presented. Now that's an example of who were some of our seniors and what they have achieved. Now that's not what I mean when I say case method of teaching and learning in the classroom context. A case method of teaching, now why I am saying this in greater detail, probably because most of you may have never gone through the case method of learning and teaching. The entire dilemma that the person faces, so the case is written from the context of an individual or an institution, the entire dilemma that the person faces, the information available to that person at that point of time, and probably sometimes the alternative path may or may not be clear at that point of time in context. So a case method of teaching that we generally use across in most of our courses ensures that you have with you enough material which describes the context in which the protagonist is, what is the setting, and what are the dilemmas that this particular person or this enterprise is facing. Now how does that help you? It is expected that you go through the assigned material, you prepare these cases in cohorts, you will soon be assigned cohorts, a group of 5 or 6, and this cohort will remain the same for the entire first year. You prepare them before the class, and when you come to the class, you are thoroughly prepared with the assigned material as well as the case material. In the classroom, through discussion, the instructor as well as the students discover what are the issues, because probably many of them may not be apparent to you. Those of you who have gone through probably a degree in medicine or a degree in law may be familiar with the case method of teaching, but this method of teaching is really very powerful when we want to deliver concepts in management. At the end of the day, management is about learning the art of practice. In addition to case method of teaching, you will find that we use a lot of simulations. Now, I'll take you through some examples. Now, what is this simulation? This is a simulated environment. A simulation is usually an environment which is created wherein there are certain controlled variables, there are certain variables which evolve. So, through those exercises, series of exercises, you discover, you apply whatever you have learned in that course, body of knowledge. So, working capital management is an example of simulation run in finance. Supply chain finance is another simulation, is another course where we run simulation. Markstrat is one of our marquee simulation. In fact, it's a capstone in itself. A lot of things that you learn over probably 4 to 5 terms are tested in that simulation environment. The entire course is run through that simulation. So, case method, simulation, role play, experiential learning, these are the key things that will shape your learning experience and environment over the next 2 years. The field-based or experiential learning is again something very, very important, and we really value it as part of your 2-year curriculum process. I'll give you a couple of examples. Brand Scan is one course where you really immerse yourself in a lot of activities, right from identifying prospects, identifying clients, potential projects, negotiating with them, arriving at probably what could be a fair remuneration for that particular project, conceiving that project, executing it, defending it, preparing a report and handing it back to the client, and finally, collecting whatever was promised at the beginning of the contract. So this entire end-to-end cycle that you go through in Brand Scan, probably you will never be able to replicate it in any classroom setting. Similarly, and I can give you another example from finance. We do a course called SMIC, Student Managed Investment course. So TAPMI allocates 10 lakh of capital and hands it over to students in a cohort of 4 or 5 students. Each of them each group gets about a lakh or 1.25 lakh. Over a period of few months, this team invests the money. Each of this team would have a mentor, a fund manager as a mentor, a faculty mentor, as well as a fund manager from the industry. Over the period of few months, you discover how the market is through the pains and joys of investing and probably, seeing your corpus gaining and losing. At the end of the course, the entire corpus is liquidated and you give a presentation back to your mentors and the faculty colleagues out here based on how you have invested the money. What was your rationale? At what point in time did you probably get in and get out of stock? What was your overall philosophy? Were your actions consistent with those philosophies? So this is how we evaluate. So not just the money made, probably that's 30% of the overall thing, but the 70% of evaluation comes from how did you conduct yourself as part of this course? Did you have a plan in place? Did you move according to that plan? And eventually you may or may not have achieved wealth creation at the end of that exercise. So to cut the story short, these kind of experiential courses, they embed within you a lot of opportunity, a lot of learnings which may not have otherwise been possible in a simple classroom setup. So that's what you are going to experience over 2 years. Page 2, the last paragraph, which mentions about credits and contact hours. Now, credit for us is a unit of measurement. So typically you will find that whenever a faculty or a PGP chair or somebody addressing you saying that this is a 1 credit course, 2 credit course, 3 credit course, what they generally mean is that there is predefined number of hours. So 1 credit is usually about 10 hours of classroom contact learning. The program is structured in such a way that for every 1 hour of classroom contact, there is at least 2 hours of your own reading and prior preparation and 1 hour of post-class assimilation of what has happened. So effectively for 1 contact hour of learning, you do 2 hours of either case preparation, assignments, submission, and post-class probably certain activities which will help you to go back and revisit the concept that you have learned. So this sort of gives you a complete picture or learning of what you would achieve in a single hour or in a single credit course. There are certain courses which are designated as 0 credit courses. That does not mean that they are not important or they do not form part of your curriculum. A 0 credit course, whenever you encounter them over your schedule, it only means that the method of assessment at the end of the course need not be a written examination. So this 0 credit course typically would involve some kind of skills to be imparted. See, at the end of every course, we expect that the candidate gets certain knowledge, certain skills are imparted or embedded, and there is an attitude that is developed over a particular course, over the program. So certain very skill-oriented courses probably could be a 0 credit course designed or operated as a workshop, which would be evaluated as a pass-fail or a satisfactory-unsatisfactory performance over the conduct of the course. So the entire program, the PGDM program, is structured over 2 years. Each year has 3 terms of instruction. The page 3, draw your attention to page 3. The courses for term 1, term 2, term 3, the list of courses that you find. These are foundation level courses of management which we believe that each graduate must possess irrespective of which is the area that you want to specialize in the second year. On page 4 you would notice that in term 3 we have 1 course which would be an elective, which means item number 6 at the top of page 4, operations research, marketing research, FSA, HR metrics and research methodology. So you would pick one of these 4 based on the intended area of your specialization. At the end of first year, you will go through what is called as the Viva VOC or capstone activity. Now, what is the intention behind having this 1 credit course is for us to evaluate, take a pause and evaluate that over the 1 year you have gone through so many courses, probably gone through a lot of cases, gone through certain simulation activities, submitted a lot of assignments. So how much have you learned? Are you able to integrate what you have learned across various functional areas of management into a coherent manner? So that Viva VOC helps us evaluate, and probably it also helps you. It helps you prepare for the second year, for the internship, for the electives, and at the end of it for the placement interview. Page 5, you would find that the electives are structured as majors or minors. I mean, there are various areas in which we offer courses, the elective courses. Finance and accounting includes courses from economics. We have courses in marketing, courses in strategy, courses in human resource management, operations, analytics. So there are various areas. Each of these areas have their own cluster of courses. You could pick a particular area as your major and a particular area as your minor. Major and minor has to be two different areas. In addition to that, so you may observe that through major you may cover about 26 to 27 credits and through minor about 9 to 10 credits of coursework. There are certain courses which are designated as core courses, certain strategic courses which you will go through in term 5 and term 6, which are mandatory for all second years. The course of special choice that you find is an opportunity available to the students to pick a particular course which may be outside their chosen area of specialization. So you may designate, for example, marketing as your major, fin as your minor, or probably ops as your minor. Yet there is one course in HR which Colonel James offers and you definitely want to go through that course, then course of special choice is the opportunity for you to take that one course which you believe outside your area of major or minor, which is going to contribute to your overall development. There are certain workshops which are structured over year 1 and year 2. Some of these workshops are optional, some of these workshops are mandatory. You will be informed time to time which are these workshops which you have to mandatorily attend. These workshops are again designed in a way that certain body of knowledge, certain skills which we do not want it to put it in a structured classroom learning. This pedagogical approach helps you absorb the same in a slightly less than rigorous classroom setup. So at the end of first year, each of you will go through an MIP, what we call as, an internship, what we call as management in practice. What is the idea? I know that about 2/3 of this batch has come with prior work experience. But there is a lot of difference between what you might have done before and the average, if I recall, the average work ex of this batch is about 23 months, which is close to 2 years. I'm sure you have done a lot of things in those 2 years before. But remember, those jobs were the jobs that you did as an undergrad. So there were certain expectations from you. There were probably certain deliverables which are very different from an expectations and deliverables of a management graduate. So these 8 weeks of internships is designed in such a way that you see the problems from a management point of view. You would have, by the end of first year, you would have learned a lot of courses in various functional areas of management, and probably you would be good at seeing the unified picture. So the 8 weeks at the workplace is designed in such a way that you are able to spot a problem, visualize what that organization is going through, what are those pain points, probably come up with a method of dealing with it, and at the end of it be successfully able to defend it to your company mentors as well as to your faculty mentors. So this experience gives you an opportunity to implement some of the things that you learn in management context. For example, you might have learned some things in finance, some things in marketing, some things in operations. So all those learnings, key learnings, could be implemented in a live setup. That's the objective of MIP. Once you are back, as I described, the electives is what you go through. So the entire 2 year, this is from the perspective of PGDM, I'll quickly cover through for the BKFS and the healthcare cohort. The entire idea, to sum it up, that over these 6 terms, you go through not only you are exposed to the lecture method of teaching and learning, you also go through a lot of courses which are hands-on, which require you to go beyond mere understanding the content, mere knowledge. Here we are looking at demonstration, ability to demonstrate the key things that you have learned in practical contexts, right? Now, coming to the healthcare program. Structurally, healthcare program is very similar to the PGDM program. However, there are certain key courses which are exclusive to the healthcare graduates. Now, because we have the objective of the program is to prepare you for taking responsibilities in a healthcare setup or probably in a research division of an organization, you would have various courses which are structured, which gives you a flavor of healthcare industry, health economics, hospital management. So these are courses that you go through in term 1, as well as certain specialized electives in second year. For example, healthcare services marketing, healthcare innovation and entrepreneurship, healthcare supply chain management, patient relationship management, health ethics. So these are courses which will mold you and help you take a career in the healthcare industry. Coming to the BKFS program, this program is structured differently from the PGDM and the healthcare program, in the sense that the coursework, the common logic or the underlying theme behind the PGDM as well as the healthcare is that in the first year you are exposed to various functional areas. In the second year you pick a set of courses, a cluster as your major and another set of course as your minor. When it comes to the BKFS program, the entire curriculum is mapped to the CFA curriculum. In fact, CFA endorses as our entire body of knowledge, which is closer to their candidate body of knowledge. So the entire idea is, so intuitively, you can visualize this as a master's in finance program. So obviously a lot of fin, statistics, economics, accounting, these courses that you will find across the 2 years. A fin major, to give you a perspective, a fin major in a PGDM program, let's say, does about 26 credits of electives, whereas 90% of the courses that you do in BKFS are fin courses. So that gives you a perspective of how much amount of the body of knowledge of fin that you are going to absorb over the 2-year program. So this coursework prepares you, or is at par with the CFA level 1, level 2. The first year of courses are structured in such a way that there is a lot of overlap between the level 1 and level 2 curriculum. At the end of first year, you do something very special. You spend about 8 weeks with the SBI training, staff training place, as well as another 4 weeks with Bombay Stock Exchange or National Stock Exchange. Probably the program could be executed through NISM or one of our partners. So the idea is that over those 4 plus 4, 8 weeks, you get a real flavor of what are the core challenges that bankers go through, what are the challenges that you would find in capital markets or investments. So at the end of that, you have to make up your mind as to whether you want to specialize in second year in capital markets or investments broadly, if I may to say, and or banking. So the entire experience of summer is designed to help you make up that choice better. In the second year, over term 4 and 5, you go through the designated courses in each of the chosen areas. The term 6 is kept for winter internship. That is what the PGPs go through summer internships. The BKFS cohort goes through winter internship, usually from the last week of December till March. So in that period of time, more often than not, the students go through internship in the same companies where they are already placed. Now, what is the idea? That you save on the time of orientation and induction into that company. Probably there are a lot of things that you learn. There are a lot of things that you have already learned. You would want to apply, try it out in the corporate setup. So those are those 14 weeks. You get a longer period of time to see the company, to see the processes. The company also gets a long period of time to deal with you. So that's broadly the structure of the BKFS program. It is in the second week of March that the SMIC course, which I explained earlier, the liquidation of all the portfolios happen. The BKFS cohort comes back to do their presentation along with their PGP colleagues who would have liquidated their portfolio, and the entire presentation happens. So for us, that's celebration of excellence, right? In everything that we do, we try and celebrate excellence. We promote excellence, we celebrate excellence. We want that each one of you, in whatever activities that you choose, be it part of coursework, be it part of various forums, that you push yourself and do best at what you do. There is no need for each one of us to do everything. Whichever area of activity that we pick, we need to do it best. So with these words, I hand over it back to Professor Sina. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Iyer. Okay, can we breathe easy? Are you okay? All right, let's see.
Which is the most disliked office at TAPMI? Did I hear PGPO? Did I hear a PGPO? You just wait till I meet you. So how do you like it here at Manipal? Huh? It's a nice place? You really like it? Wait till we ruin it for you. There's something very nice about this place, you know. We call it the rains. There's an exercise that I actually learned from one of my gurus, so I thought I'd just get you to do that. I had demonstrated this 2 years back. Get your hands free, keep your hands off the book. Yeah, just make sure your fingers are good for action. Yeah? So when I raise my index finger, you will tap your index finger on your other palm. Okay? When I raise 2 fingers, you will use 2 fingers to tap your other palm, and therefore, so I'll do a 3, a 4, or a 5, but I will not say it. You might have to just watch what I'm indicating, and you will tap accordingly. You ready? All of you? Oh, come on, guys. Did you have your breakfast? Yeah. Is this the energy with which you want to go to classes soon? Oh. Okay. Good to go? That, ladies and gentlemen, is how it rains in Manipal. Now that we told you what it is when it is showering outside, let me run you through what happens when it showers inside. Yeah? I will be with you, and my team of faculty members and staff will be with you through your courses. And I'm thankful to Professor Vishayar. He ran you through the most favorite book at TAPMI halfway through. It's your Bible for the next 2 years. So hang on to it. So first of all, a hearty welcome to the batch of 2017-19. And we as faculty members are hoping that we will continue to clap hands for you, big time, always. Yeah? Okay. So here's what we have. When you first decided you are going to join the Time Institute, huh? And then when you decided, okay, the CAT exam is out there or the ZAT exam is out there, I got to take that exam. And then when you saw that score of yours and you were so thrilled and you said, oh, now I'm going to go for my interview. And then finally you had this call from TAPMI and they said, you know what, come on board. Each time that happened, you saw a designation behind your name. You said, okay, I am Mr., Miss so-and-so. But after that you said, there's a CMO or a CEO or a CFO or a managing partner or a director. It's still there. So what you wanted to do is, you wanted to grow from being ordinary to being extraordinary. And that extra is what is going to take you that extra mile. And there is something extra in every one of us. Is there anybody in this room who believes that you don't have that extra bit? Most of the times our parents have told us that, iski na ek haddi zyada hai. So even if you don't have anything else, you have that extra bone. Let's make use of that. Yeah? Someone is laughing so much, he can't get over his parent. Papa ne bhi yahi kaha tha. Soch hai. Saras hai. Huh? So allow us to help you out with this. We at TAPMI believe in helping each other. Big time. Even if you don't solicit it, we give it to you. So let's go to step 1. anybody here who can't seem to understand what's on the screen right now, please read the book. Because most of the times the conversations in the PGP office is, you know what, I want this. And I'm like, did you read the book? No. Where is it? I don't know. I really don't know. Find it, read it. Ma'am, I don't have the time. Can you please let me know what's the rule? I need to go for my best friend's wedding. And he won't be married if I don't go. Too bad. Read the rule book. But there's no clause about friend's wedding. So please read the book. That's step 1. Good to go to step 2? Oh, come on, guys. Yes. Read the book if you missed it the first time. Please read that book. And it's very important. Don't just look at it. Don't just tuck it under your pillow. Please read that book. It's so important you read it. Because there's some things in that book which you will not forget for life. Huh? Did you be like, please, we've seen books like this before. We need to talk. We really need to talk. Okay, so what's in store for you? Chalo, let's say we've read the book. Let's see what's in store for us. Courses, classes, credits, sab C hai. I know what you thought. और दे दो. चलो. What happens? You make your choices. You take chances. And at the end of it, it's Surf Excel ki dhulai. Sab saaf hai. Everything is clear. Sab si hai. I meant confusion. What did you think? Huh? Get these right. And you will walk out with another C. It's called confidence. Man, Janti, I don't know what you were thinking. Anyways, welcome to our world. What else is in store for you? We changed it a little. Now, you will be with a faculty mentor. We have what we call a faculty advisory system. You will be put in groups and we're going to adopt you for 2 years. Some of you will get very nice parents in here. Some of you will get stepmothers and stepfathers who are going to knock you in your head and tell you, dude, if you don't do this, you're going to get in some real trouble. And they're going to keep a hawk's eye on you. Okay? So each of us will be given about 10 to 12 students to be taken care of, and we will meet once in a while and we will pull you up if things don't go fine for you, just like how parents do. Okay? Moodle is our learning management system. It's a tool that we use to quiz you. If you speak to your seniors, they will tell you, oh my God, I have a Moodle, I don't know what to do. It's usually a 5 to 8 minute exercise. But zindagi bhar ka pressure usme nikal jata hai. There's so much pressure that people can spell constipation reverse. Moodle is going to be one of those testing times. You also have some grades here and there. Some lessons that you will learn, both academic and for life. And there is this word called CGPA. This is another C. it is the grade point average, cumulative grade point average. So ultimately, you may be very good in some things, you may not be good in some other things, but it's okay, we balance it out, we become quite okay. We're there, we're like not here. Yeah? Have I scared you enough? Take a guess. Read that book if you need a little more insight into what these grades are all about, what the CGPA is all about, what do you mean by classes, what do you mean by fast group, what do we have to do? All right, now that we are done with our steps, 2 years, you remain focused. ये तो हमने 10th में भी सुना था. Huh? The society told us, yeah, 10th pass kar le. Then that nasty neighbor came and said, आपका बेटा engineering के लिए नहीं जा रहा. So they said, चलो let's finish engineering यार. 12th खत्म कर ले बेटा, तो math पढ़ ले. So you said, हाँ, after 12th I'll have life. Then engineering happened, or graduation happened. Everything happened in those 3-4 years. Said, chalo, you finish your graduation, you'll be fine. You'll be done for life. Settle ho jayega tu. And now again. But these 2 years is probably going to be, for many of us, the last time of the year or our life where we will actually sit into a class with classmates. For most of us, this is going to be a terminal degree. Unless there's anybody here who wants to do a PhD, which is called permanent head damage. But nevertheless, but for the rest of us, this is probably going to be the last degree that we would get. And I think you give it your shot, the best shot, because this is going to be a game changer for many of us. So stay focused. Yeah? And what do you have to do to stay focused? One of my friends, who's also a colleague of mine, is super impressed by the lady in pink. Huh? No, you don't have to tell him to stand up, but I'm sure he'll take it to class. Because we among us, we are a group of 4 or 5 friends, we've decided that this is going to be the punishment. Anybody who walks in late to class will either have to sing Dinchak Puja, or will have to dance to Selfie Lily Maine Aaj. Yeah? And we're going to do it despacito, like really slow and smooth. Are you wondering what is Eye of the Tiger? Ah, your seniors will tell you what is Eye of the Tiger. That's not what we want you to focus on. We want you to focus on yourself. That's all that matters. Nothing about friends, nothing about roommates, nothing about this heart or the broken heart. Nothing. Nothing about what people told you. Nothing about what people think about you. Oh, isn't it wonderful that people think about you? You occupy 70% of their mind for free. Don't worry about it. Everybody who spoke on the podium today told you that you focus on yourself. You go for it. Do it. Be good at what you're here for. And just accomplish it. Don't try to imitate anybody, that's not going to work. Each of you is a limited edition, by the way. One-time production. Even if it's coming from the same house. There cannot be another you. So therefore, what you've come here to accomplish for cannot be accomplished by anybody else. So just focus on yourself. Live your life. Outgrow yourself. Outdo yourself. Don't look at anybody. Who will work with you? Of course, we are not islands, so we can't be alone. You will have that crazy friend Yes? And some of our crazy friends are like, yaar, rehne de, tere bas ka nahi hai. Don't even think about it. Is that how it's going to be? You don't know. But every day he will ask you, how are you doing? Yeah? Or that awesome professor. Yeah? Some of us, you will never forget. We promise you that. Or you have a team. Chak de. Take them, work with them, and allow them to be with you. But at the end of the day, the focus is on you. You are the center of your life. You decide what to do, where to go, how to be. Makes things really easy. So then you don't compromise, you see? You don't have to do things because somebody is feeling bad about it. You do or do not do stuff because you feel good or you don't feel good, period. Sorts out your issues. Okay. Why do you need them? Let's see. You need them to help you follow the rules because they are the people who probably can see a little more than where you see it. And they might just tell you, okay, you know what, dude? I think we're going a teeny weeny bit outside the track. Let's come back. Let's not do stuff that's going to sabotage or jeopardize ourselves. Are you still with us? Yes. Good. Some of the eyes just went, rules, and some are like, oh, rules. So, I would want all of you to have nightmares about the PGP handbook today. I want this book to be on your mind always because that's the first textbook you must read thoroughly. And it's a book that was not like written overnight, okay? Professors and faculty members who've been here in TAPMI have actually worked out this book in detail. You wouldn't be surprised if I told you that when we were getting ready to publish the next edition of the book, we actually spent 2 full days, to the extent that lunch was served at the table, reading this book line by line, making sure that it sort of covers everything that you need to know. And we want you to be happy about it. Because if you own an institution like TAPMI one day, and if you're going to run an institution like TAPMI one day, I think you will have a rule book with you. And you will actually tell your team this far and no further. So, you just want attention. Heard the song? You should. It's a nice song. And chapter 5 is the one that you must pay attention to. I'll allow you to read that book tonight, but it talks about grades. So what grade are you? A grade, B grade. Doesn't matter. Maybe 5 years down or 10 years down, you might not think that this is a very important thing, but today, yes, it is. It's that stamp you need on your wrist to enter the pub called the industry. So let's just get it. Don't have to sweat it out. It'll come naturally to you. Professor Madhu in his welcome address told you that you're that 470 out of the 4,000. So there has to be something in you that brought you here. Don't give up on that. If I were to ask you a question, I don't know how you'll answer, but is there anybody in this group who thinks that you will not do well? Nobody. That means every one of you believe that you're going to do it so well that you're going to be proud of yourself every single day. And we really want you to be like that. My favorite? Chapter 6. Why? I get to meet my students often. What is it about? Attendance. You saw the video? Yeah? 1 minute late. You might lose a client if you're 1 minute late. You might miss your flight if you're 1 minute late. You may even miss an accident if you're 1 minute late. The question is, what do you miss? So if you have a class, it's always nice to be a little early. Come a little early to class. Be there on time. Be comfortable. Because when you enter a class running and panting and puffing and then you can't pay attention and the first 20 minutes is gone for a toss, you've lost it. Speaking of running, it's the rainy season. Be a little careful. Our terrains are not very comfortable for running, unless you want to do it the Shah Rukh Khan style. Not otherwise. So, this is something that we all believe in. Make the right choices, because choices have consequences. That's another C. Choices have consequences. Let me warn you, you will meet a lot of new people today, and they're going to be with you for the next 2 years. Friendships will grow and break. Hearts will break and mend. Limbs will also break. But you have to be very confident about what happens through this time. Be prepared mentally. Be a strong human being. Don't let yourself crack up under pressure. Because this is not a place for you to build your pressure. This is a place for you to build yourself, unless you are a pressure cooker. Which you're not. You're people who breathe. So breathe. Remember to breathe very often. Today's the day. Huh? Today is the day. So what does GST stand for? Got you there. Come again? Yeah, I'm just a little clumsy with technology. Yeah. Can you hear me? Yes. No, it's not the tax thing. It's growing successfully at TAPMI. What a beautiful day to set into the campus. Modi ji has his plans, and TAPMIans 2017 have their plans. What a wonderful day. So, a few last minute notes. Be on time, stay focused, and more importantly, don't be a slave to that mobile phone, which most of us are. We can't seem to get our hands off it. We have more contacts in that mobile phone than real time. We have more friends in that mobile phone than real time. Detach yourself. You're in a beautiful place called TAPMI, and you're in a very nice location called Manipal. And trust me, the rains are going to ruin the network for you, so I'm working on that part. I'm really praying, God, aaj Wi-Fi down ho. But stay off that. Now, why am I telling you that? Read the book. There's a little love note about mobile phones there. Everybody likes lovely figures. There are a few numbers that you might want to just keep in your mind. It's not going to affect you. I won't put you through that. But it's going to come up in our conversations pretty often, okay? Yeah. These are not sizes, by the way. Filthy minds. Unfortunately, my office is the one that keeps saying this, so that's why you will see that every third slide of mine says, follow the rules, follow the rules, follow the rules. That's because I, as a PGP chairperson, would like to meet you more often for the right reasons. I would like to have conversations with you about how well you're doing and what you want to do further. And so every time we meet, you should be able to tell us you know what, I'm so happy. This is the place that I wanted to be, or this is what I'm doing, or I have an issue, I would like to talk to you about it. What do I do from here? We shall have constructive conversations, not conversations where I'm on the other side. I don't want that. I want to be in a conversation where both of us are sitting together and talking about issues that matter to both of us. So I think we are almost come to the end of the slide. We're really, really looking forward to your graduation. 2 years. Oh, that was cool, huh? We're already done. We're really looking forward to all of you graduating in the year 2019. And we're really looking forward to a great time that you can have here. Any questions? Anybody? If you're uncomfortable asking them now, please feel free to come to my office. We can talk. If I don't have classes, you will see my calendar outside my office. If I don't have classes, I'm usually free for consultation 3:30 p.m. onwards. And I stay on the campus, so you can always walk in. You come to the PGP office, you will notice that there is a wall of post-its. I don't know if you took a walk there. There's a lovely wall that has 30 post-its. Each post-it has a message. What I want you to do is, every day, take one message for yourself. Any one message. Which means you'll come back to that message only next month. Yeah? Now, if you open up your kits, you will see that there is a post-it pasted on your notebook. Every one of you, take about 15 seconds right now. Take out that pen of yours. And I want you to write a promise to yourself on that post-it. Now that is for the months that have 31 days. Every one of you. If you need a bit more time, fine, take it. But make sure you write that and you post it and you paste it at a place where you can see it regularly. But that better be a good promise that you're making to yourself. Okay? Hello? Yes. So, this is what I told you to do. Thank you. Good luck and God bless you. We now have two of our SEC members. They are going to give you the student version of life at TAPMI. Okay? Till now it was us, the faculty members. Is Philip here? Yes.
Very good afternoon to everyone present here. So before we begin, my warm regards to all the faculty, staff, and of course to the new batch of 2017-19. On behalf of the PGP2 students at TAPMI, we warmly welcome you and congratulations for making it to TAPMI. So we are supposed to speak about life at TAPMI. Basically what happens after 5 p.m. because Sina has covered everything else. And so what happened was the director said he would steal our thunder. He said basically what he's going to speak about is going to cover everything. And yeah, so he did that. He actually pretty much spoke about everything that we're going to cover now. So what we'll do is I will give you some glimpses of what TAPMI is, and then Deepthi would do so too, and then afterwards we can take some questions to whatever time permits. So before we begin, first I'll just introduce who we are. So we are the Student Executive Council. We are an elected representative of students, elected by the batch, so we would consist of people from seniors as well as you guys. Primarily our role is to act as a liaison between faculty and students, so we would voice student concerns and opinions to faculty and the administration and vice versa. So essentially we need to stay, interact with people, get your opinions, keep the pulse of the batch at our fingertips so that we know what's happening and the right message is communicated to the faculty, and so that there's a smooth functioning in the system. Apart from that, we also coordinate the activities of the various committees on campus. So there are roughly about 20 committees and clubs at TAPMI. And Professor Madhu has already run you through most of them. So nonetheless, so you have, and then they cover various areas. So you have TMF, that's a marketing forum in marketing, and you have Fin Forum in finance, HR Forum in HR, and then you have Toastmasters, which is a club, an international club, in fact, for those of you who don't know. It's present in about 140 countries, and it's there in TAPMI as well. And we have Samniti, the only student, it's a registered student-run fund. And then you have various other committees as well, so as per your choice and liking. This is us, the Student Executive Council. They're standing right there. So if you just turn back, you have Danya over there on my far right, and we have Priyanka. Then we have Gunjot, Bharani. Ajitha, sorry. Gunjot, Bharani, Priyanka, and sorry, who's that? Pranav Dabke, sorry, I can't see. So, in fact, all the people that ushered you in and the volunteers, the wonderful volunteers that helped you guys today and will continue to help you tomorrow as well are actually members of committees, members of welfare, and the heads of the various committees in TAPMI. So during lunch or throughout today or tomorrow, if you have a chance to speak to them, you could get a hang of what committees that they head represent and what they do in the committees. One of the earliest committees that we will be in touch with you constantly, the first few days, first few weeks, and afterwards as well. But the first few committees that you would be interacting with is PlaceCom and Welfare. PlaceCom, of course, is in charge of placements and internships, and they also organize guest lectures by industry experts on a regular basis. And then Welfare is probably the most loved loved committee on campus. No offense to other committees, I'm just saying. These guys, they manage the your hostel facilities, the mess, the food, and in general, the student health and welfare. So if anyone's sick, welfare is the ones who they would contact, and they would facilitate your, if you need to go to the hospital, so on and so forth. Basically at TAPMI, you have, the program at TAPMI is quite rigorous, the academic program, everyone knows that. But looking back, probably we would say that the program, the academic aspect of it is not necessarily that hectic. It is something that is doable by anybody. Really at TAPMI, the thing is we have a lot to do outside academics as well, but linked to it. So at TAPMI, there's always something going on. There's always a lot of activities, a lot of bustling of there's a lot of energy. And I know you guys, we've seen you guys, and so we know that you are an energetic crowd, and I think we met a few, I met a few of you, and some of the other councilmen, we met a few of you at the hostels a few days back. So essentially at TAPMI, for most of us, and probably for you guys, will realize that night and day is probably just the same, because after your classes, you're probably going to come, maybe sleep for a few hours, and then you're back doing maybe your committee work or your assignments or your FAS work or whatever. From my experience, when we were doing FAS, that is the project groups that Seena ma'am and Professor Vishwanathan has introduced you. These are project groups you'll work with throughout the entire year. So we would basically burn the midnight oil quite frequently. The thing is, when we work in FAS in these groups, maybe about 40 or 50% of the time is actually related to the submission that is due tomorrow or the next day. The truth is, the remaining 50% of the time we're engaged in things which are not relevant to the submission, but nonetheless it's part of our development, because we end up in these stimulating conversations and ideas pour out, and we see how we can apply them here and there. So they're not relevant to what we're going to submit, but nonetheless, in the whole, I think it is, on the whole, it is a development nonetheless for us. And so I think that is why the program becomes rigorous, because you're in an environment where there's a lot of ideas, there's a lot of energy, so there's a lot to do. So it's very rare that you would find someone who has nothing to do in the evenings, even though class gets over. So as far as student activities are concerned, it's mostly student driven. Each committee has an area chair, which is a faculty. And but it's not that we have a free hand in what we do, but nonetheless, our ideas, your ideas, your opinions, and the kind of involvement you show in the committees or in the competitions or whatever challenge that you take up, that would shape the experience that you have in TAPMI, because there's plenty of them out there, plenty of opportunities, and it's up to you guys, up to us. And there's always people who will support you, whether it be your FAST mentors or the faculties or the students themselves. There's always someone to support you. So essentially what I'm trying to convey is that development at TAPMI is not just grades and academic, but it is an all-rounded sort of a development, because the environment we are in nurtures it, it fosters it. So whether you solicit it or not, essentially an all-round development is what you're going to get. So with that I would end, and Deepthi would take us through some of the more specifics of TAPMI life in general.
Good afternoon, TAPMI. So how are you all feeling? Excited? Nervous? Mixed feelings, I must say. So last year I was seated right there, and I had a number of apprehensions and questions in my mind. Will I be able to gel in well with all the people? Will I survive through the TAPMI life? Will I make new friends? Will I enjoy in Manipal? Etc., etc. But trust me, guys, the 1 year that I've spent in TAPMI has been the best of my life. Now let me ease you all by telling you what a typical day in TAPMI is like. So basically, you get up in the morning, stretch your arms, look at the surroundings, the lush green campus, then you can see a few joggers jogging, of course our director sir, and then and that is the time you realize it's already 8 and you need to rush for your class. You climb all up the slope against all the odds, treacherous downpour, heavy rain, with umbrella being your only savior. Then you reach the mess, you have good food over there, and then you reach your class. But please make sure you reach the class well before time, because being late in TAPMI is something that shouldn't happen ever, because that fetches you a subgrade. So after once your lectures start, you have a number of them lined up, then you have Moodles, quizzes, presentations, assignments, group fast work, etc., etc. And the day is overloaded and packed, and you don't even realize when it's actually night time. You juniors are lucky enough, we have a number of options for you in the mess now, but even if you plan to step out, my personal recommendations would be Saiba, Woodland, Dollops. You can just try these places out. They serve really good food. So once you've had your share of fun and you've enjoyed yourself to the fullest, you have to be back to the campus by 11:30. Sounds harsh? But we can't do much about it, because this is not TAPMI rule. This is a mandate by the District Commissioner of Manipal, and the Manipal city shuts down at 11:30. So basically, even if you have to stay out after 11:30, there is nothing much to do. So you have to get back to campus by 11:30. But this is not it. At 11:30, the NC opens, the night canteen. And post 11:30, NC is the most happening place in TAPMI. There are jamming sessions, people having gossips, midnight Maggie, food, etc., etc. So, and also, not to forget, birthdays. At TAPMI, your birthdays will be grand. You'll have personalized emails, then cake cutting, and not to forget, birthday bumps. And mind it, a number of them. And after that, I would like to talk about festivals. At TAPMI, we celebrate all the festivals. The festivals are full of good food, people dress up very nicely, they click pictures, then there are games, regional performances, and that's about it. So basically, TAPMI puts you through academic rigor as well, and has a lot of avenues where you can enjoy yourself a lot. So each and every day in TAPMI is a challenge in itself. Every day in TAPMI, you'll face new challenges which you'll have to face. But then when you go to sleep every night, have this realization in your mind that you've successfully overcome one challenge and you're completely ready to face the next one. And that is what will make you good managers. Thank you. We are open for questions if you have any.
Yeah, so the night canteen is actually being renovated. So actually when we came in, there was seniors are going crazy because they just met each other again. Unfortunately, you guys didn't have it, but because it's being renovated, so you can expect something better, bigger and better. So I think we have music and lights and stuff, so yeah, great. It's going to be better, much better. So I think in a few weeks, months, I guess.
Yes.
I don't know. There is that, right from your hostel all the way to campus, there is a slope, which by itself, I mean, it will take care of most of it, trust me. But anyways, there is, in campus, again, the gym is being renovated and we're building a world-class facility. But there is one at Marina as well. It's quite cheap if you guys, we'll give you the information later, of course, no problem. Anything else? So if not, anyways, you'll feel, oh sorry, one more here. So there's a 45-day rule by AICTE which prevents seniors from interacting directly with juniors. So once that is done, probably we'll start the elections for the committees. Some of the other committees like PlaceCom and SEC would start sooner because there needs to be some sort of point of communication, and PlaceCom would need to start their process for MIP internships. So, but most of it, these information will be communicated to you by this week itself, and you would know when it's happening. So you can say in about 20, 25 days, 45 days. Yeah. The mess. Okay, so we have 3 vendors. Last year we had only 1 vendor, Avinash, who was in charge of it was basically a meal system, and now we have, of course, Quest and Madhuvan Sarai. This place you're going to have lunch now. The same vendors are here, and then we have Desi Firangi as well. Desi Firangi, sorry, at night. So you do have a lot of varieties. I would suggest you try out the food, and then you could make your own opinions of it. But the food is pretty good in most of the places I'm in. Well, these details I think will be communicated to you. The hostel wardens would communicate it to you. You can get in touch with welfare, in fact, for these things. Anything student related, we would happily take it because these are things out of our purview. Okay.
I can understand your apprehension regarding the mess advance. We'll be refunding the mess advance in a few days to you. For a few days you will have to manage. After that we'll refund and you can use that money. Anything else you want to know about the mess advance, or? Fine. Yeah. Whichever account number you give to accounts office, we'll transfer there only. Don't worry about it. Okay, thank you.
So I guess if there's no more questions, we could. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Philip and Deepti. I won't stand between you and lunch for long. Philip and Deepti also serve with us on the SPG, which is a strategy planning group, the highest decision-making body at TAPMI. So we wanted to ensure that you have a voice, and your voice will obviously be routed through Philip and Deepti, and they'll also serve in the PGP committee with the PGP chairperson and the other senior faculty members. So we're very conscious that you'll have lots of issues that you want to raise, and the SEC president and the VP will ensure that they communicate the messages to us, and we will look into that. Also, in terms of gym, we don't have a gym at the moment, but I'm happy for you to run with me. I run the campus 8Ks to 10Ks. If you're fit enough, we could run together. I'm happy to have a running club until the gym gets done. So we're going to have a stunning gym in the next 8 months or so, 8-10 months, like the marina. We have set aside almost 17 crores to build this gym. The work is just about to start, but it won't be ready for the next 8-10 months. Until such time, you'll do something outside, or you can run with me. Options are available. Anyway, I'll see you back soon. 1 sec.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you. We start with the second half of the induction. We will first have Professor Happy Paul addressing us about the MIP. That's about your internship, management in practice. And that will be followed by an address by Professor Sudeep. He is the warden for the hostels, and he's going to tell you about the do's and don'ts about the hostels. Post that, we will all head towards the campus back, and then you will go to your respective rooms for your registrations, your photo shoots, and your ID verifications for your ION connections. Okay? A quick word, the director faculty parent interface today will be at 5:30. It was earlier for 6, but it's going to be at 5:30 today. So yeah, over to Professor Happy.
Good afternoon all. Since morning, many people have come here on the podium, and all of them are saying that I am happy. So a formal declaration that officially I am happy. And mind it, I'm still married. Oh yes, a father too. Okay, half of the job is already done. Professor Vishayar has already explained about MIP, but I'll still would like to reiterate certain things. When the director asked the question, who would want to see himself, herself in place of those two boys who just bagged the Microsoft package of 19.5? I think, if I'm not wrong, all of you said yes. Really? Okay, maybe after going through the PGP steps, half of you have changed your mind. All right, but if you want to get there, we'll be interacting a lot, right? Because that has happened through the internship, what we call it here as management in practice. So, what is it? MIP? It's the summer internship program, which has a duration of 8 to 10 weeks, and during the month of April and May, right? Nothing big about this, because all the B schools have similar kind of internship programs, right? 2 months they go to the industry, they learn, they come back, they present, and they move on, right? What makes the MIP different is probably the line I have written on a very small letters, that this was the innovation at TAPMI. TAPMI was one of the few B schools to start with this, and it was duly acclaimed and acknowledged by the industry and as well as by the Association of Management Schools. It was awarded as the Best Innovation in Management Education Award for this initiative, MIP. Now, what makes it different is probably this. It's not just the internship, it's a 6-credit course. And if you could recall from the past few sessions, credits, the one very important C, right? It has 6 credit. Now, to make it more clear to you, it could be equivalent to 2 3-credit courses, or your electives, which usually comes with 2 credit, right? It would be equivalent to 3 such courses. That means it will make a lot of difference to your big C called CGPA, right? And why we have given so much of importance was probably very clear in the director's talk also, that what we have in curriculum, we give you enough opportunity, enough platform to actually try out the same, right? And as clearly talked about by Professor Iyer also, that you go there, whatever you have learned in the first year of your stay at TAPMI, you try those things out, and then you come back, and then you again try to find a balance. Because I have come across this sort of statements a lot, that when students come back from their internship, they say that there is a lot of disconnect. What we do out there, right? That's never taught to us in the theory. The problem lies with the understanding. I should say this, because they think that theory and practice as 2 separate things, and their assumption is that these 2 things don't go hand in hand, right? But if you ponder over, if you actually see what's happening in industry and then try to connect it with the theory, you'll find the meaning behind it. And the most important thing for all the students sitting here, this could be the opportunity to secure final placement. And I'm sure there cannot be any better feeling than this, that you are coming back to campus to join for your second year and you already have an offer in your hand, right? And believe me, at TAPMI, we aspire to take this to newer heights, right? The senior batch, 450 students went for the internship, right? Out of that, there are 160 opportunities for PPOs. That means there is a possibility that 160 of them would come back with an offer in their hand. Now, there you need to perform, right? That's your time to actually show to the industry that, yes, we deserve that, right? I'm not saying that 160 having that kind of expectations that all 160 would get convert would not be the right thing to actually expect. But yes, 40% is what is possible. And at TAPMI, that's happening. Last year we had 57 PPOs, right? This year we do aspire to take it to the newer heights. 19.5 lakhs, those two, that's just the beginning, right? Next 2 months, industry will take time to evaluate and the offers would keep coming back to us, right? Okay, the purpose, just to reiterate, right? You go out in the industry and you experience real world problem solving, right? Most of you come with the work experience, right? But then that experience, as mentioned earlier, this time you will go with a different mindset. You'll try to bring in more managerial perspective. You'll try to explore certain areas based on your interests, based on your specializations, and you will try to help out industry there, right? You are learning and at the same time you are helping out the industry also, right? So that is the real world problem solving. And when we say real world problem solving, I don't want to restrict it to just the business, right? I know students at times get a real shock when they don't even first day of internship and they don't have even a, I was told by Professor Simon, initially that used to happen at times, that student would call back and say that I'm not even, nobody is there to welcome me, nobody is allocating work to be done, right? You need to find your own ways to do it, right? Let me be blunt. Not everybody of you would land up with an internship opportunity with Microsoft, right? We'll have few startups also coming for the recruitment, right? But the opportunity is for all, right? Like the opportunity was open for all 9,000 candidates who applied to TAPMI. Only you have made it till here, right? Likewise, the competition will be more intense. Microsoft takes only 2. The conversion rate has been so far 100%, right? So at the time of selection itself, they'll be very peculiar to pick students. But yes, all the students apply, right? I would like to quote one recent example. I was told by one of the student interning that I'm not getting a right kind of the project I wanted to work upon, right? And the place where I am putting up, there are interns from XLRI, there are interns from IAMS. They are getting good profiles and they are working with IBM, they are working with Microsoft. Their project is really cool, right? I'm not getting that kind of project, right? I just said the opportunity was also open to you. Those companies you're talking about, they visited campus, right? We cannot make Microsoft to come here and pick 50 students for internship. If they start doing that, I don't think they'll be Microsoft, right? So there will be opportunities, but you need to pick them up. You need to prepare yourself accordingly. And yes, to apply conceptual, you'll be taken through lot of theories in the starting, right? Although there are simulations and case study experience also. But then there are certain basic concepts that you need to understand, and that is the time when you are going to apply your learning. Apart from that, the third objective is to prepare you to conduct a formal research study, right? I'll not delve deep into this. We'll have many such sessions where we can talk about it. But yes, two very clear things. One is that you have certain industry expectations when you go out for your internship. And the next is the academic expectations, right? You come back and then you will be expected to demonstrate whatever you have learned. It's not that whatever you learned, whatever you did there in the organization stays there only. We need to ensure your learning. We have all the right tools in place for that, and that's why it is a 6-credit course, right? If you perform well, it can take up your CGPA to the next level. If you don't perform well, it can give you some trouble also. And for internship, the stakeholder is not only you, right? I take it this way that, the ambassadors, right? So you will be acting as the ambassadors of TAPMI, going to many companies. Last year, 138 organizations recruited from TAPMI, along with some 30 odd companies where students have outsourced their internships, right? This year we are going to change many things as far as MIP is concerned, and soon you will be receiving that MIP policy documents with you, right? So which will have all the nuances of the process. Similarly, you go out there for your learning, there is something at stake for the institution also. If you do bad there, right, you will be affected, no doubt about it, right? But the institute will be equally affected. And we don't want that to happen. Similarly, the kind of projects that you do in your internship, right, that gives the faculty also an access to the organization, right? Together with you, the faculty can actually create some intellectual output out of those projects that you have done. Similarly, organizations, they are not just coming for the sake of providing you some opportunities. There are some real serious organizations. They look for interns. They have some problem areas where they want to, take advantage of your expertise. It could be just a startup without any processes. There is a possibility that no one have ever gone into the kind of management education, but that's where you need to tell them, right? And if you are going to an established organizations, you learn from it, right? But yes, most of the companies have started following this PPO model, right? They take interns because they don't want to come towards the end and just with a one-shot interaction want to pick students, right? The internship period is a 2 months, 8 to 10 weeks duration, which gives them ample opportunity to actually evaluate you thoroughly. Not just for your technical skills, mind it, for your behavioral skills, for your overall personality. And to find out a fit between you and the organization. If that fit is there, they offer you a pre-placement offer. Broadly, we divide this entire process into 3 phases. First is preparation and recruitment. Preparation means we'll be having some interventions in the form of arranging certain workshops for you for your mock GDs and case-based GDs, and then calling the recruiters to the campus or arranging the process through video conferences or Skype. That is the first phase. The second phase is the actual time. During April and May, you go out in different cities, you do your internship, and the third phase is the MIP project and the presentation. You come back during the internship period, you work on a project, side by side you prepare the project report also, and the same is evaluated, right? And throughout this process, there would be faculty mentors also allotted to you, and then when you go to the industry, there would be the industry mentor, right? For last three or 4 years, we changed the process, right? But we have some different plans for you guys, right? And once those things are finalized, it will be communicated to you. The team, MIP team, I'm the chairperson. With me, co-chair is Professor Kedareshwaran Subramaniam. He's sitting here, right? And then the MIP team actually works in very closely with placement office also, because there is a gradual movement of you to second year, and likewise from MIP to the placement also. We have Professor KJ George, he'll be talking to you tomorrow. We have office people, Kalandi ma'am and Rajeshwari Akshashetty. And yes, of course, we have a dedicated team of PlaceCom members. They are second year students who, most of them were the MIP team members for the last year, and they have the responsibility to arrange all the, coordinate all the placement activities. And yes, this is also something which I guess was missing in the previous slides, right? Apart from all the core committees and all the clubs, we have a student team, MIP team, right? We'll pick around 15 to 17 students out of you guys only, based on your interest. As I have written there, it is purely interest-based voluntary participation, but once you commit to it, you have to perform, right? And like any other committee, this actually requires a lot of efforts and time, because these 15 to 17 students would be taking responsibility to find an internship opportunity for all 471 students. Few recruiters. If you find any name missing, which is your dream company, right? I would like to invite you to join MIP team and make sure that the company visit to the campus next year. I'll stop here. If you have any questions, I'll be only happy to answer that. Or otherwise you can, think about it. Keep your questions ready, and tomorrow Professor KJ George will address you. You can ask him. Thank you so much for the hostels. Professor Sudhir.
Thank you, Professor Happy Paul. I hope all of you remain happy after listening to the do's and don'ts in hostels from me. Yeah, good afternoon. Congratulations and welcome to TAPMI. I don't have a PowerPoint presentation because I am going to generally talk about non-academic stuff. Okay. This non-academic stuff which I am going to talk about, you need not assimilate it like you do with the academic stuff, yet it must remain at the back of your minds all the time. Okay, so unfortunately my counterpart, Dr. Vidya Pratap, who takes care of ladies hostel issues, is not there with us today because she's traveling. Maybe she would like to address the ladies separately after she gets back. Okay, so, but I'll talk about the general stuff. I deliberately avoided a PowerPoint presentation because I thought there's no point in showing you pictures of hostels or hostel rooms once you have occupied it. Okay, so basically we have 5 hostels, 1 and 3 for ladies, 2, 4 and 5 for boys. Most of the rooms are fairly uniform, but the dimensions may vary a little bit, yet they are all self-contained with the usual facilities required for students. That is, you have cots, mattresses, study tables, chairs, reading lamps, waste bins and all those things. And you have the restroom also along with that. Then you have the plug points to charge your mobiles and laptops. but you can't use them for pressing electric irons. You can't use them for that. But you have the laundry facility. You can use the laundry facility for that. You have the laundry shop on campus, which is just at the ground floor of the Sauparnika block, which you'll get to know later. Besides having that laundry shop, those people would come to your rooms to take delivery of your dirty linen and then return it back after a couple of days in good condition. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so basically I'll touch upon some points. You already know the kind of facilities which are there. All hostels have washing machines, some on each floor, and in some hostels it's there only on one of the floors. Okay, a little bit of inconvenience, but you must get used to inconveniences as managers. And the important thing about use of washing machines is that you can't have all the guys coming together and dumping clothes there. So for early risers, it may be convenient to wash their linen in the mornings, and for the guys who wake up late, maybe they'll have to go and do the cleaning maybe at 1 or 2 a.m. Okay, depends on your comfort levels, but you must all adjust that there is no overload on these washing machines to ensure that there are no breakdowns. Fine? You yourself would suffer when there are breakdowns. Fine. Then in the hostels you have Wi-Fi, almost everything is there. And eating joints are now available in the student center. The night canteen, as they mentioned earlier, would come up in a few weeks' time, as Philip said. Okay, yeah, and it'll come in a much bigger and better way than what it was before. Okay, so the other eating joints, it has already been discussed by the SEC members and all that. I'm not touching upon that. Each hostel has got a caretaker. They are quite efficient staff members, and most of the grassroots level problems would get sorted by them, and only if any problem doesn't get sorted out should the concerned student get in touch with welfare com. Okay, that's the students welfare committee. Okay, otherwise it would get sorted right from their level itself. Once it doesn't get sorted out even at the caretakers or the welfare com level, it could get escalated to higher levels. Maybe we have a team to take care of hostel affairs. I'll introduce them to you later. Of course, Dr. Vidya Pradha would meet you much later. Okay, that's about the facilities, the caretaker. The caretakers are efficient people. Please show respect to them, because they go out of the way to help you, and they don't expect anything in return. So the least you can do is to behave well with them. Yeah, so that is one thing. And movement from hostel to academic block, all these places, you have seen the terrain. It's during monsoons it can be a bit slippery, and in fact one of your classmates had a fall, unfortunate fall. So please be careful, particularly those of you who come from north and other regions where you have scanty rainfall. You are in for a surprise here. So let me also tell you that sometimes even umbrellas don't help. The winds are so strong that you and the umbrella would get carried away. Okay, yeah, so be careful about the rains. Ensure that you don't get wet too much, because you're not used to getting drenched. And after getting drenched, if you sit in the AC classrooms, for sure you're going to catch a cold or viral fever and stuff like that. So be careful. Okay. At night when you move around from one hostel to another, or from academic block hostels, cafeteria or any place, please see that you carry a flashlight torch. I'm sure the admissions office would have given you a list of articles, and one of that would have been the torchlight. Because you have some reptiles on campus. I'm not scaring you because, you know, yeah, long back before TAPMI came up, this 42-acre land used to be the place where all the snakes caught in and around Manipal and Udupi would get dumped. So they got multiplied over the years, and only after TAPMI came up, it has got reduced. I'm not scaring you. This is just a word of caution for you so that you don't be too adventurous and walk around during late night carelessly. Okay. A few years ago, we had a leopard scare. Okay. The leopard scare prompted TAPMI authorities to install CCTV cameras everywhere. So first it was to track the movement of the leopards. Now it serves another purpose. Its prying eyes will watch over your behavior beyond classrooms. Am I scaring you too much? First the leopard, first the snakes, leopards, and now CCTV cameras. So I hope you are still happy. Okay. Okay, yeah. And those of you coming from north particularly, you may get enamored seeing the beaches around, lovely beaches around. You have lovely beaches in Malpe, Marvante, Delta Beach. You name it, we have it. Some of you guys from MIT would be familiar. There is strict timing, entry timing in hostels or into the campus precisely, 11:30 p.m. That is fixed by the police department and the government authorities, and all the educational institutions have fallen in line. 11:30 p.m. sharp, you must be in campus. So after your class hours, if you just go out for a dinner or something, ensure that you get back by 11:30. Okay. And we normally don't relax this. If someone gets late beyond 11:30, only under very pressing circumstances we allow people, or rather we will refrain from taking action. Okay. Otherwise you need to be here by 11:30. Fine. What is ultimately you could infer from this is that you can go out, enjoy an evening, come back. There is no problem once you get in by 11:30. Strictly no night outs are permitted. Which means that you have the luxury of staying out only during term breaks. Okay. And you'll get term breaks, not after each term. As long as the director decides that you need to unwind, you may get term breaks. Okay, yeah. So, I just lost track. And so, night outs, strict no. Another strict no, yeah, first strict no was time limit 11:30. Second strict no, night outs. Third strict no. This is an absolute toxin-free campus. Zero tolerance towards smoking, drinking, or use of substances. Okay. See, the director and the institute pumps in so much of money to build this sophisticated sports complex. Okay, it is not only to keep you guys in good health, but also to wean you guys away from bad habits. So some of you who would have been working, probably a third of you, sorry, 2/3 of you who have been working and who have unfortunately got into bad habits, this is the best time to kick it. No better time to kick it. These 2 years. If you can refrain from smoking and drinking for 2 years, it's as good as refraining for life. Okay. It would not be as Oscar Wilde said, I've stopped smoking so many times. It wouldn't be so. Let me tell you, this rule is followed to the hilt. Believe me, there was an international conference last year wherein we hosted delegates from China, Germany, Netherlands and all that. And some of the delegates were habituated to smoking. We did not allow them to smoke in campus, though they were delegates. We hired a vehicle, or rather put a vehicle on this job so that the vehicle could take them outside the gate, allow them to smoke and come back. It's not something which I'm just, bluffing or anything. Many of my faculty colleagues are there to vouch for this. They were taken out, allowed a smoke, and then we brought them back. You won't get such luxuries as someone taking you outside for a smoke. You are not delegates. You would become delegates once you're alumni. Okay, I'll just see if I've missed out some point. Yeah. Manipal is generally Manipal is known to be a very, very safe place. That's why it's called Oxford of the East, and you have so many educational institutions and students here. But a couple of years ago, this reputation was marred by a rape incident. Okay, one of the girls of one of the colleges in Manipal was raped by. See, the general public is so friendly, courteous, nice, and there's no complaint you can have against them. But some of these auto drivers can be a bit shady. So the culprit caught in this case was one of the auto drivers. So probably the ladies, when they travel at night, please avoid travel alone. Maybe after 9, or it may not be very safe. Though generally Manipal is a safe place. Okay. Yeah. And the other thing which I want to talk to people from north. Yeah. There are so many beautiful beaches here. Okay. There's no harm, you can visit the beaches. But let me tell you, because you haven't seen too many beaches in life, you will be inclined to visit the beaches often. The sea waters may look benign, but it's very, very dangerous. Okay. One of our students lost his life a couple of years ago. And I still, or rather, the picture of sobbing parents and all is really etched in our memories. So please avoid such incidents. So, from a warden's perspective also, I don't want any untoward incidents happening during my tenure or ever. Okay. The unsavory incidents that could happen are, number one, having accidents, bike accidents. We do our best to minimize that risk. By the way, I teach risk management, okay. So TAPMI reduces risk by disallowing you to bring bikes in the first year. Okay, that's one way of reducing risk for TAPMI. So I don't want to hear of incidents of accidents or somebody developing any terminal illness. Or, but last but not least, someone caught with substances or booze bottles and getting unceremoniously kicked out of TAPMI. I don't want to be a party to that. So please, you all are grown-ups. Play hard at academics. Enjoy responsibly. Okay, I'll just see if I've missed out any point. Yeah, I have missed out one point. TAPMI is very, very particular that all motorcycle riders use helmets, okay? So, you first years wouldn't have brought your vehicles along for sure. But if you are traveling as pillion with a senior, make sure that you use a helmet. Okay? At any cost, we want to protect your heads. Okay, that's all from my side. I don't know if you'll have queries. I'm sure you'll have a lot of queries, but maybe those queries would be addressed by your own seniors who are used to being accustomed to these rules and regulations. I would like to call upon my teammates, Mr. Anand Pai and Parimala. Of course, Parimala is not here. Yeah. Yeah. Anand Pai is here, Parimala is not there. Caretakers are obviously still in the hostels to take care of everything in your hostels. Yeah. Everything in your hostels. This is Mr. Anand Pai. I'm sure all of you have met him. Probably he was the first person you met. Yeah. The staff support we get from TAPMI is just immense, and our intervention would be rarely required, in fact. Okay, so that's my team. Caretakers are still in the hostels, you know, to ensure that they leave no stone unturned when it comes to your comforts. Okay? Thank you. Enjoy responsibly.
Can I just clarify a couple of things? Sudeep, thank you. Philip and Dipti, in the budget, we have not budgeted for vehicles for you to take them out for smoking. We are not giving you vehicles. If you want to smoke, you've got to walk all the way out and smoke. You clarified that? Okay. So, snakes, leopards, whatever Sudeep has said. He forgot dogs. So anyway, I hope that's all under control. So tonight I have a meeting with the SEC. Sudeep's going to lot of hints. Don't bring them to the list. I won't be approving any of those new requests that the SEC is thinking of adding to their already long list of demands that they want to make tonight. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Professor Sudeep. If you survive the snakes, the leopards, the dogs, you still have the profs. You got to get past them. So, nevertheless, I think that was a very good insight into what awaits you as far as the hostels are concerned. When Professor Sudeep mentioned about you being careful about walking from your hostels to the academic block or from the academic block backwards, I'll just add to what Professor Sudeep said. There is one block which is the faculty residence on campus. All of us come from families that have taught us how to behave well. Now with us, in our families, we have our children, we have our spouses, we have our parents, we have our guests, and all our faculty members, all my colleagues will agree that we take great pride in saying that we are professors and that we lead a bunch of management trainees and students who want to be and make it big in life. So everybody who comes to our homes, they really look forward to something that's wonderful in campus that includes behavior. You're young, there's a lot of energy. Most of you are out of home, read prison for the first time. Most of you are back to studies after a grueling stint with work. And so there is that person in you who wants to be free, who wants to sing loudly, who wants to shout loudly thanks to Bollywood. They have ruined the idea of education and college life. So if you think you can hold the guitar and sing a love song as loud and as crazy as it sounds in the middle of the night to someone who's least interested, and the only ones that you're really having an impact on is us faculty, because we are right there trying to get our share of sleep after a long, tiring day, it's not going to work. And unfortunately, the CCTVs that once worked for leopards are now going to be working for you. So just don't indulge in something that you and your parents and we as your faculty will not be happy about. So I'll put it very simply. When my young child asked me what is wrong in holding a boy's hand, I said, nothing wrong. As long as you continue holding his hand even if I am looking at you. It's very simple. If it embarrasses you to do something in front of your parent, don't do it. Be it the way you dress, be it the way you walk, be it the way you talk, be it the way you sing. So just be a little cautious, because we are faculty members who come from very different backgrounds, as conservative as you think we are. We are quite open-minded, by the way. You'll get to know that very soon. But nevertheless, just be a little careful, because I think that will reflect your dignity. Yeah, we're clear? All right, so that brings us to a very long day, to the end of it. We will all go back now to the campus, and sections 1 to 6 will finish your registrations today. Okay, it'll start at 3:30, and I think it'll go on till about 6 o'clock. We as faculty members will be interacting with your parents at 5:30 today in the student center. We will all assemble back tomorrow at 9:30 for the second part of induction. There's a whole lot of talking to be done, and we will start all over again tomorrow at 9:30. If we haven't scared you enough today, thanks to Professor Sudeep, we will do our bit tomorrow. Thank you very much and have a lovely evening. God bless all of you.